For decades, Canadian shoppers and tourists were a lifeline for U.S. border towns and tourism hotspots. Canadians flocked to Florida, Las Vegas, and border cities, fueling local economies and forging deep cross-border ties. But now, that steady stream has slowed to a trickle. Canadians are deliberately keeping their money at home, skipping U.S. vacations, and even selling off winter homes in Arizona and Florida. This isn't a government order, it's a grassroots boycott, a personal decision by millions. The impact is immediate: empty hotel rooms, quiet shopping aisles, and business owners scrambling to understand the sudden change. This isn't about a weak Canadian dollar or travel fatigue, it's a protest, rooted in political frustration and national pride. Canadians feel slighted by recent U.S. rhetoric and policies, and their absence is being felt in American cash registers. The scale and speed of this shift are unprecedented, with travel agencies reporting mass cancellations and economic forecasts turning sharply negative. The message is clear: Canadians are using their wallets to send a powerful signal about the real-world consequences of political actions. The chill in U.S.-Canada relations was sparked by a series of actions that many Canadians found deeply offensive. President Trump's suggestion that Canada become the 51st state was seen as a profound insult, igniting a wave of national pride and resentment. The situation escalated with the imposition of harsh 25% tariffs on Canadian goods, viewed as an aggressive economic attack on a key ally. These moves disrupted trade and hardened Canadian resolve, fueling a boycott not through government, but through individual choices. Then came new travel rules. Canadians staying in the U.S. for over 30 days must now register with immigration authorities, complicating life for snowbirds. What was once a simple winter escape is now fraught with bureaucracy and suspicion. Together, these actions transformed the U.S. from a friendly neighbor into a source of frustration and uncertainty. The response from Canadians is emotional and personal, boycotting U.S. travel and shopping as a way to defend their dignity. This isn't just about policy, it's about respect. Ordinary Canadians are making their voices heard by choosing to spend elsewhere. Crossing the U.S.-Canada border has become a source of anxiety for many Canadians. The new 30-day registration rule is a major hurdle, especially for retirees who own homes in the U.S. Navigating online portals and providing personal details has replaced the once easy migration south. The atmosphere at border crossings is tense, with reports of lengthy questioning and intrusive searches. Canadian government travel advisories now warn of complications and even detentions, especially for vulnerable groups. The U.S. is no longer seen as a safe, welcoming destination. Uncertainty now overshadows travel plans. Families, couples, and shoppers are increasingly deciding the hassle isn't worth it. Tour operators and travel agencies report plummeting bookings and high cancellation rates for U.S. trips. Canadians are rerouting their vacations to Europe, the Caribbean, and other destinations where they feel more welcome. The ease of cross-border travel, a pillar of the relationship, has cracked, destabilizing the entire structure. The result? Canadian tourism dollars are flowing elsewhere, leaving U.S. businesses in the lurch. The economic fallout from the Canadian boycott is severe and immediate. A 10% drop in Canadian tourism means $2.1 billion lost annually for the U.S., and about 14,000 jobs gone, mostly in hospitality and retail. Early 2025 data shows hotel demand in border towns like Niagara Falls, New York, and Bellingham, Washington, down by 8% and 12% respectively. Tourism economics reversed its forecast from a 15% increase to a 15% decline in Canadian travel. A massive swing. States like Florida, California, New York, Nevada, and Texas are hit hardest, losing billions in spending. California alone saw $3.7 billion from Canadian tourists last year, much of it in restaurants and local businesses. Florida's winter economy is bracing for a major blow as snowbirds sell properties and cancel long-term stays. Air travel is also down. February 2024 saw an 8.8% drop in international arrivals to California and a 12.3% drop in US-bound flights from Canada. This isn't just a border town issue, it's nationwide. Canadians are choosing other destinations, and the loss is rippling through airlines, airports, and countless businesses. The message, the economic pain is real, and it's being felt everywhere. For many Canadians, the boycott is personal, a mix of principle, pride, and practicality. Take Lena Yousefi, a Vancouver attorney who canceled her family's Hawaii trips and property search, choosing Costa Rica instead. Her story echoes thousands who now avoid the U.S., especially snowbirds frustrated by new travel rules and a sense of being unwelcome. Many are selling U.S. properties, citing bureaucracy and a loss of the carefree winter lifestyle. The cultural divide is growing. Canadians feel their values, multiculturalism, gun control, universal healthcare, clash with the US political climate. Spending money in America now feels like endorsing policies they oppose. The Shop Canadian movement is surging, with people supporting domestic tourism and businesses as a form of protest. Polls show nearly half of Canadians are less likely to travel to the US this year, a sustained, widespread shift. Conversations across Canada reflect a new reality. The US is no longer the default destination. Instead, Canadians are investing in their own communities and seeking friendlier shores abroad. The boycott is both a statement and a movement. Canada's political leaders are echoing the public sentiment and amplifying the boycott. Prime Minister Mark Carney has publicly encouraged Canadians to spend their tourism dollars at home, framing it as a patriotic act. MPs like Charlie Angus have gone further, calling Trump's rhetoric an act of war and urging Canadians to avoid US travel. The response is cross-partisan, reflecting deep frustration across the political spectrum. On the world stage, Canada is pivoting away from US reliance, signing a major defense and security partnership with the European Union. This move signals a strategic shift, reducing dependence on an unpredictable neighbor. The government's actions reinforce the grassroots movement, uniting citizens and leaders in a common cause. The message to Washington, Canada, is preparing for a future less centered on the US. This economic standoff is more than a trade dispute. It's a turning point in US-Canada relations. Generations of shared borders and economies are now at risk, as political rhetoric turns a trusted partner into an economic adversary. The damage is real: lost revenue, lost jobs, and communities struggling to adapt. Once travel patterns shift, it's hard to win visitors back. These changes could last for years. For Canada, the crisis is prompting a reassessment of its economic identity and global alliances. The Shop Canadian movement is strengthening domestic solidarity, while new partnerships with Europe mark a foreign policy evolution. This could lead to a more resilient, diversified Canadian economy. Reconciliation will require more than policy reversals. It demands respect, collaboration, and a genuine effort to rebuild trust. If relations improve, the flow of people and dollars could return. If not, the rift may become permanent. The future of North America's most successful partnership hangs in the balance.